the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
The following is a special presentation of the Turn 3 Racing Network, your home for everything E-Speed. Race fans, welcome to the World Center of Racing. Tonight, it is the kickoff to the inaugural RFC Throwback Series from the World Center of Racing. It is Daytona International Speedway. Hello, everyone, and welcome to race number 1 of the 2020 season. My name is Cody Early. I'll be joining you throughout the season as the Turn 3 Racing Network is set to bring you what is going to be some of the most exciting racing of the season. It's the RFC Throwback Series, presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing, and of course the folks at Blackhawk Motorsports. We welcome you to the broadcast here from what is the world mecca of racing, the Daytona International Speedway. Tonight we get ready for the season opening event of the 2020 campaign. This is going to be a series that I think throughout the year you're going to get to see an amazing an amazing display of talent as we see drivers from all over the world getting ready to battle what is some of the most difficult cars on the racetrack. As we see drivers out on the racetrack right now, final round of practice for the RFC Throwback Series as we get ready to kick off this inaugural season. Once again, thanks for joining us. We are inside of the 5-minute mark before we get ready to go qualifying here from Daytona. Kind of a little bit of an aspect of an inside look at these race cars. Of course, they are the 1987 Ford Thunderbirds. They're the 1987 Monte Carlos, and we've got a full field of those race cars here to go to battle for you. Now, you think about these race cars. Back in the day, these were as realistic as they come. The word stock cars were used simply because that's what they were. These cars weigh in at nearly 3,700 pounds. That's right. And the horsepower, they got plenty of it. 625 horsepower. They're about 51 inches tall and about 71 inches wide. The wheelbase on these race cars, about 110 inches. So you want to talk about a handful? Yes, they are that, to say the least. And as drivers get on the racetrack for the very first time in this series, there's been a lot of anticipation about how this would go. Well, there's no better way to start out an inaugural season than right here at the Mecca of racing, the Daytona International Speedway. I'm excited. I know the drivers are excited. It is going to be a great season and a great series to watch throughout the year, and we thank you for joining us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Make sure, if you haven't yet, to like and follow the Turn 3 Racing Network, however you do that, Facebook, YouTube, and as always, we appreciate you joining us. Coming up, we are going to get things ready, the countdown to qualifying. Who will be able to start on the front row for the inaugural race? We'll have that for you and so much more. You're watching the RFC Throwback Series from Daytona on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway. You see the clock ticking away as we are ready to go fast time qualifying for our inaugural race of the 2020 season right now. 25 hot rods in the garage right now. We're going to see who can go the quickest on the board as we've got quick time qualifying. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the way things will shake out, well, it's simply going to be the old school style racing when it comes to points, when it comes to qualifying. The quickest will set the pole, of course, and we will work our way down. So very interesting to see which drivers are going to be out on the racetrack first. It looks like we have got our first driver that is rolling out on the racetrack, and it looks to be Rick Greenaway. Rick Greenaway is out on the racetrack right now, and he will be our first car to take quick time. He is from Massachusetts in his 151 Autism Awareness Machine. Beautiful looking ride. Of course, Rick in one of those Ford Thunderbirds. Also some other drivers on the racetrack. Eric Blunt out there as well, as a bunch of the Ford drivers look to be going to the racetrack first. So we're going to see if we can take a ride along here as our first drivers get out for qualifying. Rick Greenaway, he's going to be the first driver to try to get up to speed and take the quick time. We'll see exactly how things will shake out. Of course, tonight, the big main event, the season opener here at Daytona International Speedway. As right now, it looks like our first drivers warming up. And Rick Greenaway, his first lap is underway here from Daytona. We'll see what he can turn out as far as the time goes. First time for these drivers out on the racetrack, so everything you're going to see tonight, everything you're going to see in this series throughout the year, the word first time is going to be used, and that's something else, whether we're here at Daytona, we're in Atlanta next week, Darlington to follow that. So yes, a bunch of first times everywhere we go as we continue to watch that 151 machine of Rick Greenaway work around the racetrack from Massachusetts. I'm looking to the leaderboard. Looks like so far nobody is up to their first lap on there, and Rick's going to be the first one, it looks like, to put a lap down as he comes through the trioval here at Daytona. We'll see what kind of time he throws up there, and it's a 45.390 quickest. Second quickest right now is Dustin Ping. He goes to the top of the board. Eric Blunt, we'll see what Eric's got. Love this machine right here, the number 6 of Eric Blunt. He's from New York, the Autism Awareness number 6. He whips across the line, and we'll see where he stacks up. Eric Blunt goes quickest. He's the first driver into the 44 range. He will be first quickest. Jeffrey Clifton in his 15 Chevrolet. He is second quickest there for a moment. Nope, Joshua Spalding goes to the top of the board. So drivers working their way around the racetrack right now as we try to give you a little bit of a look at some of these nice hot rods that are driving around the racetrack as we speak here this evening. Once again, thanks for joining us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Cody Early. So glad you could be with us here tonight from Daytona. What do you say we go inside one of these hot rods and see if we can't ride around with the driver in the number 15? That is Jeffrey Clifton. We'll go through the trial with him. As you can see, these cars are a handful, jerking, pulling on the wheel. And looks like Clifton's going to come in third quickest. So now we're starting to see some drivers click away into the 44 range, as right now nobody's faster than Ryan Nolan. We're riding with him right now in his number 87 machine. He's out of Georgia, Vermont in the Humane Society of the United States, number 87. He works the bottom of the racetrack, just like a lot of the Cup cars. These drivers are fighting for the bottom of the racetracks. It looks like he is going to pull in, and we will stop and see if we've got anybody else out on the racetrack turning laps. So far, 6 drivers only to turn quick times. We'll see if that changes. Steve Baker now looks like he's going to bring his number 55 machine. He's out of Raleigh, North Carolina. The Autism Speaks number 55. He's out on the racetrack driving a Ford Thunderbird. Love that race car. Love the throwback cars. Love the schemes that are here at Daytona for the season opener race. As once again, the opening race of the inaugural season. And as always, you want to keep up to date with anything going on, make sure you check out the Turn 3 Racing Network as we keep you updated on all sorts of racing action throughout the year. As we see Steve Baker start to come up to full speed, he'll work the middle of turns 3 and 4 as he cruises around this gigantic speedway here at Daytona. Now, you want to wonder if these cars are a handful. You know, we're going to see a lot of moving of the wheel. This is back before the I like to call them the computer cars, was put into play. There's a lot more handling, a lot more aggression has to go into the wheel to wheel these 87 cars around the speedway. And Steve Baker right now, he is up to full speed. We'll see what he can do on his very first lap, as right now it's Ryan Nolan. Nolan at the top of the speed charts out of Georgia, Vermont, in his 87 Humane Society of United States machine. He has the quickest time right now. He's at a 44.79, 44.79 as you see that on the board. We'll see if Steve Baker can beat that, as looks like a couple of other drivers starting to roll out onto the racetrack. Chris Stump, he is coming out as well in his 98. We'll see what Steve Baker can do. Looks like he's quick off of turn 4. We'll see what he pushes through the tri-oval. And we'll watch his time go up, and it is going to be only 7th quick. So Baker stays in the 45. So we'll see if anybody can beat that, as Rick Hammonds Jr., he is out there. Love this car as well. Rick Hammonds, of course, out there at his 78 Multiple Sclerosis Society Foundation out of Milton, Vermont. And we mentioned the classic cars, the classic paint scheme, something you're going to see all throughout the year as we keep you up to date. And, of course, I'll be back with you after Daytona. I'll be back in with you when we return to Bristol. So, getting things fired up here from Daytona. Glad to have you with us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, as we've got drivers now starting to roll out on the racetrack. I'm seeing Andy Lambert's out there. Chris Legou, he is out on the racetrack as well, so we will see exactly what these drivers have, and they stack up across the line. This time for Hammonds Jr., we'll see if he can go to the top of the board. Looks like the 8th driver in our qualifying order. Looks like that lap not going to count, so maybe that's his first lap up to speed. Slowly starting to see these drivers come out. Stephen Page, we'll check with him. He is in that number 1 machine. He's out of Sanford, North Carolina, the American Heart Association number 1. Looks like he has tracker boats on the back of that bumper as well as he cruises down the backstretch. So far, nobody able to touch Ryan Nolan. He's got the point with a 44.79. He's the only driver to reach 44.7, and Stump can't get there either. He's going to be 8th quickest at 45.1. 45.1 for Stump, as we see now coming across the line in that number 1, Stephen Page. We'll see if he can go any higher. No, he's only 9th quickest. So drivers keeping on, going across the board, seeing who can pick up the fastest times here in our qualifying to see who will set the point for tonight's main event here from Daytona. As the clock ticks away, looks like we are starting to see some of those drivers start to work through the field and try to find their position. Of course, a lot of these drivers being a brand new series, they may actually lay to the back. We'll see as the drama continues to unfold. We'll have more from Daytona as the countdown to the season opener continues here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
To the inside goes Logan Clapton is going to touch it. Pit press. What a save.
Look to the outside, and Cronkite goes off. De Jong into 2nd place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Leonard drive it back down underneath, and he takes that 2nd spot right back. Goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashima, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
There you see Dale Earnhardt, the defending champion, a man who has won here at this racetrack. He has been absolutely second to none in 1987.
Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win, his 4th win of 1987 out of 6. Dale
everyone's wondering what can stop Dale Earnhardt. He's on a roll, 4 wins and 6 starts. I mean, is there anybody can handle you?
Is there maybe a little more here underneath the sheet metal?
Well, I'm sure this afternoon we'll know a lot more, and we've got 500 miles to run. We'll see what happens.
Good luck today.
A magnificent 19th annual $500,000 Talladega 500 is won by Johnsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott, and the siren is beginning to ring. You'll probably hear it in the Monica.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. The pole is set. The lineup is set. It's time to go racing. Chris Stump, he's going to pick up the pole here at the inaugural Daytona race for the 2020 RFC Throwback Series. Welcome once again to the Daytona International Speedway. My name is Cody Early. Thanks for making us a part of your evening here on this Tuesday night. We hope to keep you entertained all season long. That's right, as we get ready to roll into the 2020 season. Well, without further ado, what do you say we take a look at our starting lineup right now? Starting lineup for tonight's season opening race. Starting on the front row with the fastest time with a 44.659, Chris Stump in the 98 out of Ohio. To his outside from New England, the 87 of Ryan Nolan. Florida's Josh Spalding in the number 48. He'll start inside of row number 2. The number 1 of Stephen Page. He'll start outside of row 2 at the number 1 machine. Eric Blunt, he'll roll off inside of row number 3 in his number 6 machine. Jeffrey Clifton in the 15. He'll roll outside of row number 3 in the 6th spot. It'll be Dustin Ping in the number 9. He'll be inside of row 4. Starting outside of row 4, Rick Hammonds Jr. in the number 78 machine. And Steve Baker will roll off 9th. He will be inside of row number 5 in the 55 machine. Rick Greenaway, the 151, he'll roll off 10th on the outside of row number 5. Taking a look at the inside of row number 6, it'll be Andy Lambert in the 72 machine. Brian Littleton, he will be there as well. He will get ready to roll off in row number 6 on the outside. Taking a look at row number 7 in the 13th spot, it'll be the 94 of Troy Radford, one of those Falcon Motorsports drivers. He will be working out of that 13th spot. Brian Mescal Jr. in the 33. He'll be outside of row number 7. Taking a look, starting 15th in the 19, it's Cade Green, the 16th starting spot, the number 57 of Damon Cox. Rolling off 17th in the number 28, it's Dustin German. Rolling off 18th in the 46, Chris Medford. 19th, Justin Walters in the 49, and Doug Wasaki, he'll roll off 20th in that 34 machine. Brian Snare, he'll roll off 21st in the 43, and David Worrells will start 22nd in the number 25 car. Chris Legou, he'll roll off 23rd in the 71. Mike Masongale, one of the folks helping put this series together in the number 4 machine, he'll roll off 24th. And rounding out the field in the 47 in the 25th and final spot, that will be Ray Radford. The field is set. The crowd is ready. The season opening race here from Daytona International Speedway is ready to go. The Ford Mustang pace car has us set up. The field starts to work out of turn number 4. Race fans, we thank you so much for taking time to join us here this evening as we get ready to go racing from the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. It is Chris Stump. It is Ryan Nolan. Flagman has the green flag in hand. We are underway for 75 laps here at Daytona. Green flag flies. They start to gather up. Now, I told you these race cars would be a handful right off the bat. We'll see how they work in this air, especially with a full load of fuel. Most of these cars will try to seek that double yellow line. That's exactly what they're doing up front. Chris Stump, Ryan Nolan, Josh Spradling, and as we see the outside line start to form, that's Stephen Page, and also it looks like the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton. But in the meantime, the place to be, Chris Stump, he is well out front showing the way here at Daytona as we get things underway. Lap number 1 of 75. That will make up the distance here from Daytona International Speedway as these drivers sort back through the tri-oval. A little bit of a smoke back there. Looks like Dustin German in full and 2 or 3 other cars hard up against the outside wall in trouble right there. Looked like for the 87 of Ryan Nolan. Looked like he got into that outside wall just through the tri-oval. We'll see if he can keep that 87 machine squared away as he does. So we will see if he can gather things back up, and he will do so as we stay green here on lap number 2 from Daytona. There you see it snaking down the back straightaway. You wonder if these cars would do similar like the modern-day Cup cars. Would they be able to work the draft? Well, right now they are doing exactly that, and they're doing so behind our leader. That is Chris Stump. Let's go inside the car with Stump and see as he works through the tri-oval to complete lap 2 and coming to lap 3, and you can hear the RPMs of that race car just sliding, it sounds like, through the tri-oval. Chris Stump showing the way in his Ford Thunderbird. Out front right now in front of Josh Spalding, Eric Blunt, and Stephen Page. And as we work back through the rest of the field, you still see some of that traffic starting to sort out. And really, for the most part, they have started to kind of distance themselves, which is not a bad thing. As we see now some heavy entertainment up at the front. Looks like Josh Spalding, he's going to go to the point. Spalding in that 48 Lowe's machine, he goes out front, and man, oh man, somebody flipped the switch up front because they are starting to stack them up 2 by 2 coming off of turn 4 towards the tri-oval. Second place is the battle. Chris Stump, Eric Blunt, they battle right now going into turn number 1, side by side for that second spot. All the way into our 4th and 5th, it's a side-by-side battle as Jeffrey Clifton's there as well. He is battling Stephen Page as they go door-to-door off of turn number 2. 75 laps making up the distance here tonight from Daytona. Green flag so far here in the season opener for the RFC Throwback Series, as right now it is Joshua Spalding who has taken the lead from Chris Stump, who set the pole earlier tonight. And for right now, he seems to be showing the distance as they work back through the tri-oval. But man, oh man, you see these race cars moving all over the racetrack. Let's go back in the field. 13th spot now, Brian Littleton. We will see if that battle back there in the 13th spot seems to be shaken up. As you can tell, watch these cars set into the turn. They are a handful. And speaking of a handful, all kinds of out of shapeness there for Rick Hammonds Jr. He gets up against that outside retaining wall, and man, oh man, they just totally go every which way to try to avoid him. He's going to drop back to the tail end of the field. We'll see if he can gather things back up. But the entertainment is at the front right now. Chris Stump showing the way. Joshua Spalding and Eric Blunt, they swap back and forth for that second spot as we are just 5 laps now coming to lap 6 here in this race from Daytona. Turn 3 Racing Network, we thank you so much for joining us here from the World Center of Racing as this is race 1 of the 2020 Throwback season. And everybody watching at home, we thank you so much for joining us as we see these drivers work their way around the racetrack right now in a battle now shaping up. Stephen Page, looks like Jeffrey Clifton, Steve Baker. That is the 3-car race for that 4th spot as the top 3 have now sorted out single file. As we watch these drivers work around this huge racetrack here at Daytona, taking a look at the board this way. Maybe you see your favorite driver, where your favorite driver might be running. As we see Mike Masingill, I believe he's already went to the pit road, may have had some trouble there. Clifton, Mefford, they're swapping back there for 11th and 12th. Even Brian Snare in his 43 machine. That is how things have shaped up so far as we work through here at Daytona. Field sorting through. Stephen Page right now looks like he is going to make the move up to 2nd and going to shift Eric Blunt out of the draft. We'll see if that momentum for Page can get him around Stump. Here comes the 55 of Steve Baker. Almost decided to give a little shot into the back bumper, but he pulls off. But man, oh man, the battle for 2nd behind our race leader, Chris Stump, just continues to pick up as they come off of turn 4. This time looking to put lap number 8 on the board. For the most part, the field pretty much intact. A couple of drivers off the pace early here in this one, but for the most part, down below the double yellow line, it looked like Steve Baker, not sure if he got forced there or not, but definitely flirting with that double yellow line. Not sure exactly how the officiating will go for the RFC Throwback Series. If it's the old school, well, that line, it didn't really matter exactly. It was all about just wherever you could get. But I'm telling you what, where you can get is the front of the field, and that is where we see side-by-side action. Chris Stump, Stephen Page, Steve Baker, Eric Blunt off of turn 4. The battle is for the race lead here at Daytona. through the tri-oval, side by side. You can already see these cars working back and forth. 75 laps will make up the event here this evening. This time working to put lap number 9 up on the board. Caution-free so far. Impressive. All these drivers right now just very comfortable with their race car. We'll go on back. Hey, there's my good friend Dave Worrells in the Dark Side Dave Turn 3 Racing Network, number 25. He's moved up into the top 15. We'll see how the rest of his evening goes. Going on back, another one of those familiar faces, Troy Radford. He's in that 94 machine, and it looks like the yellow flag has flown. As we were sorting through, we will see exactly what might have happened to bring out that yellow flag. We'll go back and take a look. Looks like Stephen Page might have been involved. Could have been at the front of the field. Yes, and around goes Page up into the outside retaining wall. And just when we break away from the front of the field, carnage happens. Man, oh man, we'll take another look at that as Stephen Page on the back straightaway. Not sure exactly what started that as they dove off into turn 3. Looked like contact might have sent... Review that one more time. Yeah, looks like contact from Page may have just sent the 98 machine of Chris Stump around, and carnage takes place here at Daytona, a place very familiar with carnage on the racetrack. So we will see how things will shape out. But man, oh man, that's going to change some things at the front of the field. But what it will do is give us an opportunity to catch our breath, and we'll take a break, and we'll be right back with more racing action from Daytona on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's the RFC Throwback Series, presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing and Blackhawk Motorsports.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway, where it is the season opener for the RFC Throwback Series. It is the opening race of the season. Lights are out on that Ford Mustang pace car as we get ready to go back racing. Once again, we do want to thank you for hanging out with us all season long. You'll see the RFC Throwback Series right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Well, there was some interesting, an interesting turn of events. That last accident really affected the whole entire front part of the field as lap 12 is what we are getting ready to put on the board. If you're watching at home, yeah, the entire front of the field. See if we can get another quick look at that. What happened just moments ago, if you missed that. Yeah, all kinds of carnage going into turn 1 involving possibly the top 10 race cars. So, yeah, that's going to shake things up. No quick fixes here in the RFC Throwback Series, so we'll see if that affects the changes. For right now, Ryan Nolan, Eric Blunt, Kate Green, and David Worrell's big mover as he moved up, looks like 18 spots after that round of pit stops. So we will see if it plays in their favor as the Ford Mustang pace car lights are out. They roll off of turn number 4, and we get ready to go back green here from Daytona. We thank you for joining us here with the Turn 3 Racing Network. Green flag back in the air as we get things back underway from Daytona. It's Ryan Nolan, Eric Blunt, Kate Green, and David Worrell's your top 4 showing the way, and a great restart from Ryan Nolan. He works to the bottom with a little bit of help of Kate Green as they dive off into turn number 1. Single file for the top 2. Eric Blunt, he's very comfortable where he's at, but the pressure is on now. Steve Baker, also, it looks like David Worrell's. He's going to fall back, and here comes Brian Snare. Oh, and trouble off of turn number 2. Hard contact out of turn 4, and cars into the inside wall, but no caution flag as of yet. Yeah, no caution flag flies, so we will go back green. Or we'll stay green, I should say, as the caution flag does not fall there as cars go off of the speedway. So we will see if they get back going and get back rolling. It definitely looked like some contact may have caused that, but there's plenty of racing going on at the front. That's where we'll stay right now, as it looks like a battle for the lead. Cade Green, he's got the lead off of turn 2. On the outside of him, Ryan Nolan. Here comes Eric Blunt and Steve Baker there, but the draft definitely in favor of Cade Green going down the long back straightaway here at Daytona International Speedway, and right now he shows the way, but it is still a large group of race cars, as we'll give you kind of an aerial view all the way back there to that 94 of Troy Radford, who we wasn't even talking about in that first segment of laps. He has moved himself up to 7th spot, and if you watch this series throughout the year, you will learn that Troy Radford very sneaky at crawling into races indeed. As the field starts to stretch into turn 1, Cade Green showing the way, Eric Blunt 2nd, looking back through the top 10. It's Steve Baker 3rd, Ryan Nolan 4th. 5th place, David Worrell's, Brian Snare 6th, Troy Radford 7th, Rick Hammonds Jr. 8th, Damon Cox up to 9th, and Chris Metford rounding out the top 10. As they sort down the back straightaway, it looks like Eric Blunt, he's going to be the odd man out. He moves to the high side of the speedway, trying to hang on to the snake that's curling around that double yellow line here at Daytona as they soar off. Oh, wow, what a move there. It looked like Cade Green got loose, and it's going to open the door, and Eric Blunt, he's going to bring along Ryan Nolan. They go first and second as they put lap 16 on the board. 16 of the 75 laps that will make up the distance, and I'm telling you what, they have not backed off any at all when it comes to racing. They have been at it ever since the green flag dropped, and as you see them start to sort out, not as much aerodynamics as you would see in the modern day cup cars, so not a lot of side drafting. It's simply just trying to stay within the air that these cars put out. We talked about in the opening, these cars weigh about 3,700 pounds. Some of the heaviest race cars that were ever put on the racetrack, and the definition of a stock car. This is definitely it, as it is Eric Blunt showing the way, and just as I say that, here comes Ryan Nolan. He's got Steve Baker to his inside, and he's going to help push that 87 car possibly to the front. I want to point out, absolutely love the numbers on the Ryan Nolan car. The 87 kind of reminds me of the Days of Thunder. Yeah, the Hardy's car that was on Days of Thunder. So pretty cool to see that. But how about old Dave Worrells? He's hanging in there. He's the 3rd car on that inside line and not giving up the ghost just yet. Here comes Cade Green. He's on the outside. 17 laps of the 75 to make up the distance here from Daytona. It's the RFC Throwback Series. We want to welcome you, the season opener for this series. And man, oh man, slicing and dicing up towards the front. We'll take a look back further into the field. Brian Littleton in that number 80 machine. We see him working through. Pretty cool paint scheme on that number 80 car as always. Of course, there is some team affiliates here, and we will talk about those as we carry through the 2020 season. And if you like what you're seeing, if you like the classic cars, next week the series will go to Atlanta. And you're wondering, maybe, will there be some of those classic stops along the way? Well, you guessed it. Darlington, race number 3, North Wilkesboro, race number 4, and Bristol Motor Speedway, race number 5. A full schedule. We will get that to you on the Facebook page. Once again, I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Thank you so much tonight as we kick off what is the inaugural race of the 2020 RFC Throwback Series, and we're watching lap 19 on the board right now. And the battle for the lead, well, as we go back up towards the front, we continue to see Ryan Nolan showing the way, and he's got Steve Baker and now Dave Worrells in the top 3, and those 3, for the moment, have just stayed kind of calm. They're kind of pacing themselves, and what I like to call staying away from the storm, as the top 5 right now sort themselves out single file. Of course, that last caution we seen, a lot of drivers impacted. Stephen Page, he had a great go. Dustin German, Chris Legou, all involved in that incident as those drivers affected in that turn 3 incident just a few laps ago. As we work on the first quarter of this race, 5 laps away from that 25 mark. Somewhat of a short shootout here on a Tuesday night, only 75 laps. But for these race car drivers, 75 laps around Daytona could seem like a lifetime, because these cars we talked about in the opening do not handle the greatest. They are wheeling, slicing, and dicing. We'll go inside. How about we jump in with Troy Radford and see what it looks like inside one of these classic 87 cars. You're wondering if that sound is the car sliding? You betcha. These cars are a handful, and a little bit of a moment there for Chris Mefford off of turn 2. He gets things sorted back out as we continue to watch these race drivers work their way around this Daytona International Speedway. Love the fact that these cars are racing the way they are early in the race. You're not seeing that single file follow the leader. You're seeing drivers go to the front, and right now it looks like David Worrells, he's had enough of riding third. He's going to see if he can't get the outside line going as they cross the line this time. Lap 23 on the board of the 75. That will make up the distance, and man, oh man, they are slicing and dicing at the front of the field now. 3 Ford Thunderbirds showing the way. Only 1 Chevrolet in the top 5, and that is David Worrells. He is hanging on. Chris Mefford, the next Monte Carlo you're going to find there, and he's all the way back in 7th as they start to work through the back straightaway here at the Daytona International Speedway. Man, oh man, here comes Troy Radford. What a move. He goes to the outside of Ryan Nolan. He's a man on a mission right now as Troy Radford starts to sort through the field, and Steve Baker has the lead. Baker, oh, in trouble out of turn 4, and just as I say that, Troy Radford gets in hard contact with the 87 of Ryan Nolan. Man, oh man, and the caution flag will fly for the second time here at Daytona. Man, as we started to see a move and we started to see Troy Radford kind of sort through the field, just a little mistake, and it sends around Troy Radford. He gets into Ryan Nolan, and Nolan goes completely upside down. We'll pull up the Turn 3 Racing Network replay. Yeah, check that out. Wow. Over out of Turn 4. Not really sure if maybe Radford kind of just got loose, got up into that outside retaining wall. We'll take a look one more time as we go to our Turn 3 Racing Network replay. Yeah, and as you see there, Troy Radford just gets into the outside retaining wall. We got to it just a little bit late, but man, oh man, we're going to see if we can't go inside of that number 87 machine of Ryan Nolan, because he went for a ride. Here we go. Yes, upside down and onto the hood. as Ryan Nolan, man, oh man, what a hard, rough fall as we've got another pileup on the front straightaway. Oh, and just as we say that, sliding in is number 15 of Jeffrey Clifton. So, man, Ryan Nolan and many other drivers affected by that wreck. And with that, pit stops go underway. And with that, we'll take a moment to take a brief break and thank our sponsors. More racing from Daytona on the Turn 3 Racing Network right after this.
To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Looks to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Wide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway, where the RFC Throwback Series has kicked off their 2020 campaign. Welcome back to Daytona. If you're just joining us, another big crash, this time in the Tri-Oval. Troy Radford, a part of that, also involved in that accident. Ryan Nolan looks like he's going to be able to continue. We want to thank the folks helping bring us the coverage tonight, the Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company. Also, Blackhawk Motorsports, official sponsors of the RFC Throwback Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Cody Early. Hey, thanks for joining us as always. Hopefully going to bring you a ton of racing action this season with the RFC Throwback Series. It looks like Chris Stump may have the lead when we get ready to go back racing here from Daytona, as things shaping up very, well, just say dramatically, to say the least, as we get things back underway, as we have seen already 2 big wrecks as we get ready to go back green. 25 in, 50 laps to go as Steve Baker, Chris Stump lead us back to green. And look at that, the 87 of Nolan, who was upside down. Well, that car is still rolling on all 4 tires, and he's in third right now as the whole field dives off into turn 1. Field dives off into turn 1, 2 by 2, stack them up about 4 rows deep, all the way back to Damon Cox in that 57 machine. He has made his way back up towards the front. We give you that great look of those cars all over the back straightaway, slicing and dicing all across this great facility here at Daytona, as Chris Stump showing the way in that 98 machine. Nolan, unbelievable. That Nolan car still out there and looking through the leaderboard. Troy Radford still in 7th. Oh, contact. contact, almost. Steve Baker side by side now. He tried to get underneath Nolan. Nolan wouldn't allow the move to happen. And I'm telling you what, after flipping on his lid just a few laps ago, Ryan Nolan still making moves, trying to keep that 87 machine towards the front. The battle for the lead has been like this through most this evening. We have seen these drivers battle from start to finish, and right now a 3-car race for the lead again. But don't look now, Steve Baker's going to go to the outside, and this is kind of that slingshot move. You drag all of that air down the back straightaway, and then you get a run. But these cars are not like the Cup cars. They can get loose, and they can get out of sorts in a hurry, and off of turn 4, you see just a little bit of a wiggle out of that 98 machine, but that is going to open the door from upside down now to the point. Here comes Ryan Nolan. Nolan takes his 87 machine out to the lead. Ryan Nolan in the Humane Society of United States number 87 makes his home in Georgia, Vermont. He's showing the way, and here comes a new contender into that second spot, driving the 48 of Daytona Beach. It is the Florida Hurricane Relief 48 of Joshua Spalding. He is into the second spot as the field starts to roar into turn 3. And out of nowhere, take a look, the autism number 57. That is Damon Cox. It's one of those, where did he come from? He is sorted up through the field. The driver out of the state of Virginia, Lynchburg, Virginia. He is in the third spot hunting for the point. I talked to Damon a little earlier in the garage, and he said he absolutely loves these 87 cars. And I'm telling you what we saw earlier was a dominance by the Fords. Here comes 2 Chevrolets on the move as Joshua Spalding. He's at a Monte Carlo in that 48 Lowe's machine. And also the 57 of Damon Cox. That is a Chevy Monte Carlo as well. But on the point right now is a Ford Thunderbird. It is Ryan Nolan showing the way. And as I say that, here comes Spalding to the move to the outside. The bottom is open. But wait, here's a little bit of lap traffic. This could play a factor off of turn number 4. We will see if it will do so, as that is, I want to say, the Haviland machine of Dustin German. Yeah, German trying to stay possibly on the tail end of the lead lap, but he's causing all kind of havoc for our leaders, as it's going to put Josh Spalding to the point as they try to work around the lap car of Dustin German. So German trying to hang on to that lead lap, but right now he is not in a safe place as the leaders go down the back straightaway and ping-ponging down the back straightaway, some of them bouncing off the wall. And that is maybe the most exciting thing about these race cars, is they simply are so tough. You saw Ryan Nolan. We had the replay upside down, and now the caution flag will fly. And as I say that, talking about how tough these race cars are, the caution flag will fly here on lap 31. And they're telling me in my ear it might have been Mike Mason-Gill. We'll take a look at the Turn 3 Racing Network replay. We'll see exactly what might have happened as Mike, they're rolling towards turns 3 and 4. Oh, in trouble. Wow. We'll have to take another look at that as Mike Mason-Gill made contact. Not really sure who the other car was. Don't know that this view is going to give us a better look. Looks like the 46 machine of Chris Mefford. Not exactly sure what happened there, but Mefford, yeah, got on the apron. Looks like he just got loose. And Mike Mason-Gill nowhere to go. And wow, and just like that, the caution flag will fly once again here from Daytona International Speedway. And that'll give us a moment to catch our breath. We'll take a break and come back. More racing from Daytona on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's the RFC Throwback Series from Daytona.
Here at this racetrack, he has been absolutely second to none in 1987.
Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win, his 4th win of 1987 out of 6. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Everyone's wondering what can stop Dale Earnhardt. He's on a roll, 4 wins and 6 starts. I mean, is there anybody can handle you?
There may be a little more here underneath the sheet metal.
Well, I'm sure this afternoon we'll know a lot more, and we got 500 miles to run. We'll see what happens.
Good luck today.
Our magnificent 19th annual $500,000 Talladega 500 is won by Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott, and the siren is beginning to ring. You'll probably hear it in Dahlonega. Bill Elliott has won. Davey Allison second.
Elliott now getting a challenge from Tim Richmond, but he closes again right in behind Earnhardt, coming down off turn 4. And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Elliott goes inside. And Earnhardt still got the lead. Incredible. Decent driving by Earnhardt. 7 laps to go. Earnhardt went on the grass.
Dale Earnhardt is reminding Mr. Elliott, you make one mess up like that, and I might get through.
When you come to North Wilkesboro on a short racetrack, you expect some fender to fender and even some paint trading going on out there. We've seen it already as Red Bull 9 gave Jerry Cranmer a nudge in the rear end, and now we're seeing some great competition out there between Dale Earnhardt and Bill.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. It is the RFC Racing for a Cause Throwback Series. Season opener here from Daytona as the pace lights on that Ford Mustang iRacing pace car are out. That means we are getting ready to go back racing here from Daytona. Thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast this evening. My name is Cody Early. Thank you for making us your home for eSpeed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. Hopefully you've liked us on Facebook. You haven't done that yet. And we once again thank you so much for spending your Tuesday evening with us as we get ready. Stack them back up. Jeffrey Clifton, he's out front. Eric Blunt, Josh Spalding, Ryan Nolan, and the guy that got into Nolan that sent him upside down a few laps ago, Troy Radford, is in the 5th spot as the green flag flies. Lap 33 goes in the books this time by, and we're back to racing here at Daytona. And you're wondering maybe as they go up through the gearboxes, yes, it is a 4-speed transmission, and you're talking about V8 horsepower, 351 cubic inches of horsepower. Go to work with these 3,700-pound race cars as the green flag flies, and for the first time, Jeffrey Clifton, he's out front, but he is under attack. Here comes Joshua Spalding. Spalding to the outside, 2x2 behind him. That is Eric Blunt and Troy Radford. They battle for the lead going into turn 3. That lead continues to heat up. Side by side, it has been a battle since the green flag flew. A lot of folks think maybe the front part, and oh man, all out of shape there. It looked like for the 94 of Troy Radford. No, take that back. That looked like Damon Cox might get a little out of shape there. Steve Baker starts to creep into the mix. These cars are an absolute handful. We saw some of those drivers in practice just simply having, their hands full. And you wouldn't think that for the most part when it comes to practice, but that's exactly what they were dealing with. 3,700 pounds, 625 horsepower, and here comes Eric Blunt. He is going to push Jeffrey Clifton back to the point as they dive off into turn 3. And look at that, 3 wide behind him, and Troy Radford, he's up into the outside wall. Not sure if Ryan Nolan could have gave Troy Radford any more room, or that was just kind of one of those deals where he remembered what happened a few laps ago. But Radford off the pace, and that's going to drop him all the way back to that 13th spot. As meanwhile, back up front, Jeffrey Clifton still showing the way. He's got a battle ensuing behind him, and now Nolan's into the outside retaining wall. Ryan Nolan may have a problem with that 87 machine as he got into the outside retaining wall. And just the fact that that car is still going is huge in itself. He was upside down roughly about 17 laps ago, so we'll see if he can kind of get that thing squared away. Right now, Jeffrey Clifton, his 15 machine, flying the colors of the ASPCA from Yanningville, North Carolina. Probably didn't get that one right, but hopefully we'll be able to give him a solid shout out and he can tell us about it when this race is over in the post-race show. But man, oh man, they are slicing and dicing. Here comes Damon Cox. He's up to that third spot. He works on the outside of Eric Blunt. That is the battle for second. And don't look now. Here comes Steve Baker. Here comes the 48 of Joshua Spalding. They are all over the back bumper of our race leader, Jeffrey Clifton, going down the back straightaway as this is lap 37 of our 75 laps that will make it up here this evening. Oh, does Steve Baker go 3 wide? No, he smartly backs out of the gas. 3 wide at Talladega. Maybe you can go 3 wide here at Daytona, but man, oh man, it is challenging, and right now there is enough work at hand with these drivers trying to muscle these race cars around this large Daytona racetrack. Jeffrey Clifton all over the bottom. Damon Cox trying to rally that top line. Joshua Spalding, that is a couple of Chevrolets, but right now, Fords in the second and third spot. That's Eric Blunt and Steve Baker. That is the 2 makes that you'll see, and don't look now. Here comes our good friend Dark Side Dave. He's creeped back into the top 5, and now he is coming towards the front. Steve Baker slices his way up to second as these cars work around the Daytona International Speedway as we see them roar off of turn number 4 and into the tri-oval. Oh, and caution, it looks like will fly. Yes, it does. Caution flag will fly. Not sure exactly what happened. I caught that a little bit late as Rick Greenaway may have been a part of that accident. We'll see if we can't find that caution. Still looking as they're working to try to get us a replay. Not sure exactly what might have happened there as Dustin Ping off the pace a little. We'll go back a little bit more. Trying to find exactly what might have brought out that caution. I've seen the caution flag fly. We'll go back. Let's see. Rick Greenaway off the track. Yeah, and Troy Radford made contact there. Great work from the Turn 3 Racing Network camera crew. Rick Greenaway and Troy Radford made contact. Not really sure what initiated that. We'll go back and see if we can't maybe get another look at that. Maybe check that out from the blimp cam as they got together. Yeah, they were already mixing it up off of turn 4, but the caution flag will fly, and that will bring us back to another commercial break here from Daytona. You are watching the RFC next year, or the RFC Throwback Series from Daytona. It is the season opener of the Throwback Series here on your home for eSpeed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. Welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway. You are watching the RFC Throwback Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing and Blackhawk Motorsports, the official sponsors of the Throwback Series. Here as Daytona, race number 1 of the season, we talked about all of the throwback racing that you're going to see with this series throughout the year. And of course, next week, one of my favorite racetracks on any schedule, the Atlanta Motor Speedway. That will be race number 2 of the 2020 season. We welcome you back, race fans. I am seeing some of you folks join on the YouTube channel. We thank you so much. Still the rookie here. Yeah, you can hear me on Sunday nights hanging out with Darkside Dave in the cave for the RFC Next Gen Light Electric Company ARCA Menard Series. Back in action coming up this coming Sunday. We'll get back to work as racing happens at Talladega. Usually a second chair. Tonight I am getting my first role, I guess you could say, as the lead man. So take it easy on me. I'm seeing some folks over there saying some kind words. Linda, thanks for your comments. Seeing Dustin there says hello. So yeah, we get ready to go back racing. Still plenty of racing to go here from Daytona. 41 laps in the books of the 75 that make up the show here tonight. New leader at the point, Justin Walters. He goes out front. Steve Baker second as the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car rolls off to pit road. And just like that, the green flag flies once again here from Daytona. Steve Baker crawls out in front of our race leader. We will see if that's going to stay true as they creep towards turns 1 and 2. Seeing some of the photos here as they stack up 2 by 2. Your top 5 right now, Justin Walters, Steve Baker, Damon Cox, Jeffrey Clifton, and Chris Stump showing the way. First time we've seen Walters up front, and will he hang on to that lead enough to get back around to get the courtesy of leading a lap? It doesn't look that way. Steve Baker, he shows the way. He's going to go out front with a little bit of help of Damon Cox, and you've seen a little bit of a trouble there seeing Walters as he kind of gets onto that apron. Dangerous place to be in these race cars, as we've talked about how the handling of these cars work, and they are so back and forth. And when I say that, there's not a lot of kind of grip when it comes to these race cars as far as working the wheel. We've showed you a couple of in-car views. Why don't we do that again? Let's go right into the thick of it with Jeffrey Clifton. We'll go inside of that number 15 machine and see exactly what he's seeing as he works around here at Daytona. Wow, Justin Walters pulls completely off the pace. Not sure what happened there to Justin Walters, but he is going way back in the field. Maybe just wanting to get out of harm's way. Looked like that car might have been handling terribly. But as we've seen, he just totally dumped out of the front part of the field. So we'll go back to the front, and man, oh man, here they come again, battling side by side, banging quarter panels as Steve Baker crosses the line. Lap 44, the lap we're working on now here from Daytona. Second place, Jeffrey Clifton. And here comes Damon Cox. He's been, in trouble. Baker gets loose into turn number 1 and almost caused a total mess at the front of the field. Hats off to Steve Baker in that number 15 machine, but man, oh man, Damon Cox gonna pay the price. When he got loose, Damon had to back out because he was working the high side, and that just ruined the momentum of that 57 Autism Awareness machine, and Damon Cox in that Chevrolet Monte Carlo is gonna float back. But here comes the action at the front. Jeffrey Clifton trying to hang on to the lead as they go through the tri-oval. To his outside, Joshua Spalding. They are side by side as lap 45 goes on the board. Nose to tail, beating and banging, slicing and dicing. Who's going to be able to take home the first trophy of the RFC Throwback Series? And now the traditional point standings, no bonus points. 43 points to first, 42 points to second. So you want to talk about an interesting points race all year? Only 1 point going to separate these positions every single week. It's going to create some drama as we get further on into this race season. And right now, it is Jeffrey Clifton showing the way in his number 15 machine out of North Carolina. He's got the ASPCA on the hood of that race car, but he's under pressure. Plenty of pressure right now from Chris Stump and Joshua Spalding. And don't look now, but here comes Ryan Nolan. He has been creeping inside of the top 5, even went upside down on the front straightaway, but he has still found a way to stay inside of the top 5. We'll go back and see some of the drivers, maybe some of the drivers we haven't had a chance to see so far this evening. One of those being Brian Maskell Jr. We'll take a look at that number 33 AC Delco machine. He's out of Newton, North Carolina, flying the colors of the Autism Awareness on that race car as well. Loving that Dale Earnhardt Jr. / kind of Ron Hornaday theme of that 33 machine. Taking a look at some other drivers back through the field. Stephen Page, we saw him up front a little bit earlier. Had an accident there in that first caution. Not really been able to recover. He's running back in the 15th spot. Ray Radford, another one of those drivers we haven't had really a chance to talk about tonight. He has his number 47 machine back there at 18th. He's working right now with Troy Radford. So some of the drivers we haven't had a chance to talk about this evening, but man, oh man, there is no short of entertainment at the front of the field. Slicing and dicing once again. Here comes the 55 of Steve Baker. Almost got enough of a shove there from Joshua Spalding to get to the point, but for right now, he's going to have to settle back in line as it is all Jeffrey Clifton showing the way, coming to lap 48. Now, the cautions have worked pretty much in favor. We are yet to see green flag pit stops. Will we see it in the final run? Now, they're getting ready to sort it out 3 wide. It looks like going into turn 1. Will they do that? No. They'll stack them up 2 by 2. 3 rows deep in turns 1 and 2 is Jeffrey Clifton. You would think out front would be the place to be, but I feel like that's not the case as they snake their way down the back straightaway here at Daytona International Speedway in what has been an absolutely beautiful afternoon for racing. A little bit of cloudiness as that weather we show you now. 73 was the temp today. There was a possibility of some showers. Thank goodness that has stayed away, and we've been able to get this race for the most part in as we are beyond what I like to call the halfway point, so to speak, as we are coming down to crunch time. 49 as, trouble. Already, it looks like Chris Stump, he gets into the outside retaining wall, and around goes Stump, and contact is going to bring around one of our leaders, Joshua Spalding. Not sure what caused that, and even looked like some carnage following that. Caution flag will fly going into turn 1. I seen Chris Stump up against the outside retaining wall, but before we got our cameras turned around, we totally missed what happened there. As we'll go back and take a look with our Turn 3 Racing Network camera. Going into turn 1 there, still everything's good. He's up against the outside. Oh, it looked like the safer barrier. Wow. Chris Stump, it looked like the safer barrier might have redirected that race car. We'll take a look and go inside of that number 98 machine. We'll take a look one more time, but it definitely looked like he was up into the outside retaining wall when that accident happened, and it looked like the safer barrier. We'll see. Yeah, definitely. The safer barrier got that 98 machine out of shape, and nowhere to go for Joshua Spalding. Man, oh man, he had one of the best cars in this stint. And it looks like he's going to take that 48 machine to the wall. And with that being, or behind the wall rather. With that being said, we will take a break and we will come back. More racing from Daytona. It's crunch time. 26 laps to go. Going to be under 25 to go when we go back green. It's the RFC Throwback Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
Into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway. and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press.
Saved it.
What a save.
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
I tried, there's contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the Paravolca. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here.
Today's 400-lap race on this 0.625-mile racetrack. Here's the starting lineup. On the pole from Dawsonville, Georgia, in the number 9 Coors Ford qualifying and Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway, where it is the season opener for the RFC Throwback Series here from Daytona on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Yeah, you notice the lights are out on that Ford Mustang pace car. We are getting ready to go back racing here from Daytona. What has been an exciting race so far, and we are inside of crunch time. 24 laps to go as the green flag will fly. Steve Baker, Jeffrey Clifton, Ryan Novak, and here comes Darkside Dave. Oh, and Dave trouble. He gets in Eric Blunt, and Darkside Dave Worrells gets up into the outside retaining wall. Man, oh man. Not sure what happened. I want to speculate maybe he thought he might have been clear. The spotters, the communication in the spotters, the radios in these race cars, nowhere near the modern technology that we have seen in NASCAR these days. We'll take a look back and see if we can't see what might have happened there. Dave Worrells, there you see him in the 25 machine, gets to the outside and just floats down. Not sure if something happened there. He got into Damon Cox into the outside retaining wall. Damon Cox floats down. We'll see if we can't get another angle. We'll go up and above and go to the blimp and see exactly what might have taken place. Yeah, not sure. Darkside Dave Worrells just slides down, and there you see that contact right into Damon Cox. Not sure exactly what might have happened there. But Dave Worrells contact, and he is going to bring out the caution flag again here from Daytona International Speedway. So just when we thought we were going back green, we're going to take another quick commercial break and try to take you the rest of the way. It's the RFC Throwback Series from Daytona on the Turn 3 Racing Network. The RFC Throwback Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network is brought to you by Ohio and Indiana Roofing, Blackhawk Motorsports, your official sponsors of the RFC Throwback Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Daytona. Quick turnaround there with that commercial break. Turn 3 Racing Network. Cody Early with you, hanging out on a Tuesday night, race number 1 of the 2020 RFC Throwback Series. And man, oh man, we have seen some exciting racing tonight, to say the least. But we have seen some crazy incidents. Not exactly sure, as I went back and watched that again while we were on the commercial break. Not exactly sure what kind of happened there. Looks like the 25 of Dave Worrell's just kind of, I don't know if he floated, the air pulled him into the inside of Eric Blunt, but to say the least, looks like trouble for Worrell's, and it may do enough damage to Damon Cox's machine. We'll see if he can rally back as the lights are still on the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car. Hey, we want to fill you in on what is to come as far as coming up in the future for the RFC Throwback Series, and that being the schedule. What is coming up in the next few weeks? Well, coming up next week, it's the Motorcraft Quality Parts at Atlanta. 85 laps from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Trans-South 85. We'll follow that up. The Lady in Black, Darlington. The First Union 75 for one of my favorite racetracks on the circuit. If you're a NASCAR fan, you have got to love North Wilkesboro. We'll be there for race number 4. And then, of course, I mentioned I will be back with you for the Valley Dale Meet 75. 75 laps from Bristol Motor Speedway. That is what's to come for the RFC Throwback Series. And as I mentioned earlier, we thank you so much for joining us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Could not do it without you all. And by the way, if you haven't taken the time to check out the Turn 3 Racing Network Facebook page, make sure you do that. Like the Facebook page, and anytime we go on the air, feel free to share and let us know what you think of the broadcast. As I mentioned, 20 laps to go here in this one. My very first time being solo in the box for this event, and looks like it is shaping up to be a dandy here from the Daytona International Speedway. And as we get ready to go back green, I was talking about this just a minute ago off grid. This racetrack itself, we haven't mentioned this, but one of my favorite places in all of racing. The oval configuration, track length 2.48 miles, almost right under 2.5 miles. Temperature-wise on the racetrack today, well, you see it right there, 121 degrees. So we will see if that plays a factor on these tires. Pretty much what you got now is what you got. As the race drivers stack up out of turn 4, the Ford Mustang pace car gets ready to dive onto pit road as it does now, and it will be time to go green. 20 laps to go. Ryan Nolan, Jeffrey Clifton, the battle for the first checkered flag of the 2020 RFC Throwback Series at Daytona season is now, and it is Ryan Nolan sneaking out to the lead in that number 87 machine. Nolan has the lead to his outside now. Clifton works to the bottom. A Chevrolet and a Ford. How rare is it to see those two brands work together? They do so, but not for long. Jeffrey Clifton uses that Monte Carlo to the outside. He's going to the front. Here comes Doug Wasaki. Where did Doug Wasaki come from? And he's brought Andy Lambert, along with him. Andy Lambert to the outside, but nonetheless, they will trail two of the drivers that have been out front so far most of the evening, and that is Jeffrey Clifton and Ryan Nolan. And man, oh man, they better not look in their rearview mirror, because they are stacking them up 2 by 2. Doug Wasaki, Andy Lambert, Troy Radford, Steve Baker there. That battle is for the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth spot as they race off into turn 1. Just barely Nolan able to squeeze in between the front end of that 34 of Doug Wasaki. And as you can see there, the back bumper of that 34 machine has had all kinds of entertainment here in this race. And right now, you're seeing the front of this field battle it out. That's going all the way back to the 11th spot, 12th spot, 13th spot, all in the mix here for the win here at Daytona with 18 laps to go. They roar off of turn number 4. These cars, 3,700 pounds. They are a load on these Goodyear Eagle race tires. They sort through the tri-oval here at Daytona. There you get a really good view. We'll go up to the Goodyear blimp and see what we're seeing way up atop of the Daytona International Speedway. As there you see it, it looks like a pace lap as these cars roar across the Daytona International Speedway. Let's take a look and go to the dashboard and see if we can see some of the speeds. This is Clifton. He's up to 207 plus miles per hour. And as I say that, we've got a new leader for the first time today. Andy Lambert sails that number 72 machine, the Milton, Vermont driver. He goes out front and he has the point with 17 laps to go here from Daytona. 17 laps to go as these drivers sort through the battle for the lead. There you see it. Anybody in that sort of group of cars could have a chance at possibly taking a checkered flag home. And right now, it's Steve Baker who has sorted back to the point. Baker showing the way. We'll keep that monitor there on the bottom to where you can see his speed. He's up to 200 miles per hour down the back straightaway. As they sort down the back straightaway, he's got Andy Lambert behind him. Jeffrey Clifton's there. Also Ryan Nolan. I'm still scratching my head how that machine of Ryan Nolan is still competing in the top 5 after he was upside down. But as I say that, here's a driver that's wrecked twice. Troy Radford, he has rallied. He's back to 5th. It's anyone's race as we start lap 15 to go here from Daytona. This front group really has pulled themselves away, going all the way back to Dustin Ping. He's about the last car that could have a chance to even be a part of this lead group, and he's all the way back in 11th, so we'll see how things shape out. But for the most part right now, we'll go back up to the Goodyear blimp and give you a really good view of these drivers sorting it out for the top spot. Almost a little bit of contact. Looked like Lambert had to back up going into the turn, and man, that jammed up Chris Mefford and Troy Radford, and it gave the bottom line, the preferred line around the Daytona International Speedway, momentum as they sort through the tri-oval. Right now, still anyone's race. We know how these big super speedway races shape out. If you've got a car with 3 laps to go, you've got a chance. And right now, as they battle to the back straightaway, the top 10 all under a blanket as they sort through and down the back straightaway here from Daytona International Speedway on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You are watching race number 1 of the RFC Throwback Series. If we take a look left side leaderboard, maybe you can find your favorite driver. Of course, we've seen some drivers already have to go to the garage early in this event. Maybe your favorite. Oh, trouble! Eric Blunt's upside down. Caution flag looks like it is going to fly, and as we go through the progression of the field, Eric Blunt goes upside down, and the caution flag will fly once again here from Daytona International Speedway with 13 laps to go. 13 laps to go, could be around 9 when we see them stack back up. Not sure exactly what happened there to Eric Blunt. We caught that late, but once again, another driver going airborne, as we'll see if we can't exactly see what happened there. As there's Troy Radford. Not sure what might have happened to the 49, and yeah, we already see the carnage starting to happen as things start to shape out. We'll see if we can't get that replay sorted out. And yeah, it looks like those drivers already coming to what I like to call the scene of the crash. But it was definitely Eric Blunt going for a wild ride there, to say the least. Definitely a crazy wild ride for Eric Blunt, so we'll see how things shape out. And with that being said, we are going to take one more break, and possibly the last break, before we bring home the checkered flag from Daytona. It's the RFC Throwback Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. It is the RFC Throwback Series. Daytona season opener as we get ready to crown a winner of the season opening race, and we're going to do so thanks to the folks of Ohio and Indiana Roofing and Blackhawk Motorsports, the official sponsors of the RFC Throwback Series here from Daytona. Well, here is how things will shape up as we get ready to go back green. We've got 11 laps to go. You can see it there atop of the board here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Ryan Nolan, Steve Baker, your top two. And then you've got Jeffrey Clifton, Chris Mefford, Andy Lambert, and Cade Green, Doug Wasaki, and Eric Blunt. That is the drivers right now that we see at the front of the field, and that means anybody that is on the lead lap is going to have a chance to possibly score the win with 11 laps to go. But if we've seen exciting racing so far, pace car off the racetrack, we are getting ready to see another level of action as the green flag flies here from Daytona. 10 laps to go this time by to crown a winner here in the RFC Throwback Series. Ryan Nolan, he is on the bottom to his outside Steve Baker. Baker has shown that outside line could work. Will he stay there? We'll see. They dive off into 1 and 2. Nolan has the advantage. Steve Baker gladly takes his Ford Thunderbird behind. Now he comes back outside. He's got help. It's Chris Mefford on the outside helping out Steve Baker. They are nose to tail down the back straightaway. The two leaders are literally even as they dive off into turn 3. 2 by 2. We'll take a look at the Goodyear blimp once again, and you can see those drivers sorting it out. It looks like a parade lap at 200 miles per hour, and don't look now. A driver we might have counted out a few laps ago with that trouble is Damon Cox, and he is moving. That 57 Autism Awareness machine, he's up into that 8th spot, and he is trying to sort a way to the front. But right now, it is Steve Baker. It is Ryan Nolan. They show the way, and we are inside of single digits to go here at Daytona. Those two drivers have been the dominant two. It's a pair of Ford Thunderbirds out front, followed by 2 Monte Carlos, those being Chris Mefford and Jeffrey Clifton. And don't look now, but here comes Dustin German, Damon Cox. They are all there out of turn 4 this time. This time, 8 laps to go here from Daytona. The final 8 circuits here from the Daytona International Speedway. Who will take home the inaugural checkered flag? It's something to win a race here in this series, but to say you were the first to score a win is something special. And right now, we are seeing the top 6 race cars. Man, oh man, side by side, Steve Baker and Ryan Nolan. Let's go inside of that number 55 machine of Steve Baker as he dives off into turn 3. Baker, as we jump inside of that number 55 machine, he takes the point and does so commandingly as he hangs on to the bottom of that racetrack. We'll see if he can hang on, but he's got a whole host of challengers as we now have 7 laps to go here from Daytona. To the outside, battling for the lead, Chris Mefford. To his inside, it is the 87 of Ryan Nolan. We have seen him up at the front of the field. We've seen him upside down, and now we're seeing him contend. German's going to take it 3 wide, something we haven't seen at the front of the field. Will he make it work? We'll see if anybody's willing to back off into turn 3, and no, they're not, but what a move. The Haviland 28 machine of Dustin German just took the 2nd place away, and will it be enough to get him out front? We'll see, but now moving, slicing, and dicing. They're going to go 3 wide, maybe coming through the tri-oval. No, and it looks like Chris Mefford's going to think better of it. He'll back behind that number 28 Haviland machine. It is now 6 laps to go here from Daytona. Steve Baker out the point. He is driving out of the state of North Carolina. Behind him in that number 87 machine out of Vermont, Ryan Nolan. And now looking behind him for the first time out of North Carolina, Dustin German. These drivers all hunting for the lead. And as our flagman stands atop the flag here at Daytona, he now is getting ready to hold up the 5 fingers. 5 laps to go from the World Center of Racing as the drivers make their way out of turn 4 and heading towards the tri-oval. 5 laps to go here from the World Center of Racing. Steve Baker, Ryan Nolan, Chris Mefford, who you riding with? Maybe it's the driver in the 28 Haviland machine, the Davey Allison painted scheme of Dustin German, or maybe it's Jeffrey Clifton, or maybe you're hanging out with the Iron Man himself, Damon Cox. Will he have enough to make a run? We'll find out in the closing laps, but for right now, 3 wide. Yeah, if that's not exciting enough, 3 wide, getting ready to dive off into turn 3. If you're Steve Baker, you are enjoying what you're seeing in the mirror right now. But you've got Ryan Nolan there. Is he willing to stay there? He's going to get a nose inside. Nolan's going to make the move. A little bit of a window for Baker, and Nolan takes advantage of it. But Nolan's going to have no help. It looks like German's going to stay on the back bumper of Baker. And now here comes a host of race cars to the bottom. Damon Cox, he works towards the back bumper of Jeffrey Clifton with 4 laps to go, and somehow, some way, after Baker lost the bottom off of 4, he rallied back and took the lead right back from Ryan Nolan. So a powerful SRTV Network number 55 for Steve Baker, and right now he's got 4 more laps to try to hang on to pick up the checker flag. Oh, and he gets loose. He gets that double yellow line, and it makes that car move left to right. You see how quick the direction of these cars can go in a hurry, but man, oh man, he is willing, that number 55 machine. We talked about Damon Cox earlier. He's moved up into 5th, and he gets a little swirly, and it's going to open the door for some other drivers. And here comes Cade Green. Cade Green started to work up into the field, and that number 19, he's out of Plant City, Florida. He's moved up into the top 5 for the first time this evening. But the highlight right now is on these 4. They have the lead, and now look at this. 3 wide for the second spot. Diving to the inside is Chris Mefford, trying to set up something to go as they come to the stripe. 3 laps to go, getting ready to make it 2 laps here from Daytona in what has been an exciting season opener. But it has been Steve Baker showing the way. But here comes Dustin German on the outside. He's got that number 28 Ford Thunderbird wound up as far as it will go. We'll go inside of the Ryan Nolan machine. Let's go inside that race car as he follows Steve Baker. Right on the back bumper of Steve Baker's number 55. Will he make a move? Will he try to slingshot around? 2 laps to go from Daytona. That is the big question as we start to see these drivers sort out. We start to see the top 6 really look like they are going to be the ones to try to decide things. And out of turn number 4, Baker's loose again. You see the rear end of that race car. That is 3 times we've seen that 55 get loose. And now, as they come across the stripe, final lap, white flag in the air. It's Steve Baker. It's Ryan Nolan. Here comes Dustin German to the outside. It is a 6-car race for the win. Oh, German gets loose. Wow. What a move from Dustin German. He could have taken out the top 3 race cars, but somehow, some way, he reels that thing back in. The race for the win is down the back straightaway. He has been dominant. He has had the car, I feel like, most of the evening to be able to capitalize, but will he be able to hang on? Oh, trouble! Trouble on the outside. Chris Mefford goes into the outside retaining wall. It's Ryan Nolan. It's Steve Baker out of turn 4. Does Nolan have the advantage? Here comes Cade Green. Nobody's going to get him. And the first checkered flag of the season for the RFC Throwback Series is going to be going home to Raleigh, North Carolina. It is Steve Baker in the Autism Speaks number 55 machine. That race car all throughout the evening. Loose, but man, oh man, what a way to wrap up the opening event here from Daytona. And Steve Baker held on, but I'm telling you what, if he owes anybody a drink after this one, it's going to be Ryan Nolan. Nolan in that 87 machine, and man, oh man, he will be ready for a break as he was even upside down this evening. But Steve Baker, a winner in the season opener here at Daytona, and what excitement. We've seen that trouble. Chris Mefford will go back and see if our Turn 3 Racing Network crew can get a video possibly of that accident. As first off, we're going to see a winning moment here. There it is, the SRTV Network 55 of Steve Baker. Victory lane in front of a sold-out crowd here at Daytona. Our season opening winner is Steve Baker here in the RFC Throwback Series. Yeah, we mentioned earlier, we'll go back and see if we can't see our Turn 3 Racing Network replay. Mefford got up into that outside retaining wall. Not sure what exactly might have happened to make that happen, but here you come to the line. Kate Green made an effort and not enough as he gets loose and goes to the infield and slides through the grass, but it's going to be Steve Baker, Ryan Nolan, and Jeffrey Clifton rounding out the top three, and what a finish here from Daytona. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to get ready to talk to this evening's top three here from Daytona.
For the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. Here's the starting lineup. On the pole from Dawsonville, Georgia, in the number 9 Coors Ford qualifying and Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison.
His second win of 1987.
Welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway, where we have seen the season opener for the RFC Throwback Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing and Blackhawk Motorsports. What an evening, what a race, exciting from start to finish, and to say the least, maybe some of the most exciting racing I have seen in a long time. It has been a pleasure to be in the booth tonight, and we take a look at our top three. Man, oh man, exciting all the way around, and we are with Jeffrey Clifton now. Jeffrey, man, North Carolina's got to be proud of you bringing this number 15 car into that third spot and fighting all night long. I felt like you guys had your hands full with these race cars all night long, dude. I felt like you had your hands full all night long as far as with these race cars, Jeffrey, man. Third place finish tonight in the season opener. You got to be pretty tickled with that.
Oh, I'm definitely tickled, and yes, these cars are a handful, but I say they are very fun to drive out there, believe it or not.
Well, and, I was going to ask you about that. These cars, they move so much on a racetrack. I got excited 2 or 3 times in the booth. It looked like cars were wrecking, but then when we go to the in-car, it's just simply how these cars handle. Man, Daytona, fun race all the way around. You had a really good race car off and on throughout the night.
Yeah, these cars, they don't have so much downforce, so they're just slidey all the way around, and I love that. I love that about these cars.
Well, Jeffrey, man, we know you got some folks you want to thank on the side of that number 15. Tell us about them.
Well, absolutely. My cause is ASPCA, and I believe fully in their program. I only adopt dogs, and when I do, I try to go to the ASPCA website and, get dogs that are in desperate needs of homes, because you have these boarding kennels and stuff like that where you can buy dogs, but most of the ones that are in like the ASPCA, they're oftentimes abandoned and they really need loving homes to go to. So I really firmly believe that the ASPCA is a great organization.
Jeffrey, man, yes, I totally agree with you. A great cause on the side of that number 15. Making North Carolina proud this evening, finishing third, and, man, that's a great way to start your season, especially points-wise.
Oh, absolutely. I would also like to thank the Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company for this whole season they're putting on for us, as well as Blackhawk Motorsports. Without them, we wouldn't be able to have this season, and I'm really thankful for that. This is a lot of fun.
Man, Jeffrey, we appreciate you spending time with us, and congrats on a third-place finish here at Daytona.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Jeffrey Clifton, our third-place finisher here this evening from Daytona International Speedway. Now a guy that, had a pretty entertaining race, to say the least, especially early in the night. To say this guy had an entertaining night may be an understatement. From his lid to out front to the middle of the field, racing back to the point, this guy pretty much had everything you could think about for the day at Daytona from the state of Vermont in the number 87 Ryan Nolan. Man, you had everything imaginable in the hat as far as a magician tonight, but you still found a way to come home second. Great season opener for you.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more exciting than I had hoped for. These cars are definitely a handful. They slide around a lot, and are fun to draft with at tracks like this. It's not like the current cars where they kind of sit in line. These things move around. You have to lift. You have to kind of modulate the throttle a bit. And I don't have a lot of experience with these cars, so this is kind of learning as the whole night was going. And it's still a little bit rougher than I'd normally hope to run, but I think as the season goes on, I'll learn how these cars drive and hopefully handle it a little bit better.
Well, man, if you're taking notes, I would go ahead and scratch off the part about going upside down and flying on the front straightaway, because I'm going to tell you, I know it was not a great idea for the race car, but the Turn 3 Racing Network camera crew got some pretty cool video of that. But kind of tell us about these race cars. We talked with Jeffrey there just a few moments ago. These cars are a handful, and when you're going off into these turns, especially here at Daytona, we did a couple of in-car cameras, and it sounds like these cars are just kind of sliding into the turns. Tell us about how exactly they handle.
Yeah, they definitely move around. I think they've modeled the bias ply tires that they actually ran in '87, so those cars actually drive with a little bit of a slip angle, and you can definitely feel it when you're driving them in the sim, because they're kind of sideways. You have to kind of pre-turn into the turn to get it to rotate, and once you get it turning, it's kind of sideways. And there's definitely a balance of keeping the car straight and fast, but also trying to save tires. So I was, especially at the end, I was lifting, and I wasn't going to try to pass Steve for the lead until the very last lap. I couldn't line up right and get a run that I needed, but plus, I was just trying to hold on for everything I had. I only put on 2 tires at the end, so it was sliding around a little bit extra. But yeah, they're pretty neat, and the rollover in the beginning there is something I haven't experienced in iRacing before, so that was different. But all in all, it was a good night for us.
Well, man, hopefully that was a one-time deal, and you won't have to worry about experiencing that anymore. But we know the state of Vermont's got to be happy for you bringing home a second-place finish here in the season opener from Daytona. Tell us about the folks on the side of that machine.
Yeah, I actually haven't painted up my car, but I'm running American Humane Society, so a good shout out to them, and certainly a lot of pets and animals out there that need a good home, and yeah, we support that. We've got 2 cats of our own that have been adopted, so definitely go out and if you're looking for a pet, look to adopt one. And also got to thank Ohio and Indiana Roofing for putting on the series. We're really excited to run the rest of the season.
Well, man, it's going to be exciting. If the rest of the season unfolds like what we saw here this evening at Daytona, you're exactly right. It is going to be a great series to follow. And once again, congratulations, Ryan Nolan, our second-place finisher, man, and the best of luck going forward.
Thank you. We'll see you.
That is Ryan Nolan, our second-place finisher here from Daytona. And now we move to Victory Lane. And as far as Victory Lane goes, this guy may have been maybe been the hardest worker of the night. He battled within the top 10 most of the evening. But when it was all said and done, Steve Baker found himself out front. And man, oh man, Raleigh, North Carolina, got to be proud of that number 55 car, because, my man, you are in Victory Lane at race number 1, the inaugural race of the RFC Throwback Series, and this car looked sharp all throughout the race.
Yeah, man. I'm glad it looked good, because it was definitely a handful. Felt like that was probably the hardest I've ever had to drive at Daytona. Usually it's just cruise control mode with any of the modern cars, but this one was definitely on edge all night.
Yeah, and Steve, that's something we've talked to everybody in our top 3 here so far. That has been the comment that this series, these cars, they are a blast to drive, but on the other side of things, they are a handful, which, being a race car driver, I think you got to kind of like the challenge that these cars present.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime you have to, there were points tonight I was even on the brakes a little bit getting into the corner. So anytime that's happening at what would be a plate track is definitely fun. And yeah, it's definitely more fun, I think, to have to be on the wheel and work in the car for sure, rather than just, in a big line, wait until the end.
Well, tonight, especially being here on the booth, there was absolutely no waiting to the end. These cars, especially all the drivers that were in the top 10, it was a race all throughout the evening. Man, congratulations. You got to be tickled to start off this brand new series and a brand new season with a car going to Victory Lane. I know you got some folks on the side of that 55 machine you'd like to congratulate.
Yeah, man. Just shout out to sponsor SRTV Network, and we got Autism Speaks on the car for this season here with Racing for a Cause. So glad to have them on here to show some support. And really, hats off, man, to Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company for sponsoring the series, for you guys at Turn 3 to do the broadcasts, and just everybody out there I was battling with all night. Really was just racing hard, and there was some fender banging here and there, but I feel like everybody had their hands full, and it was a blast. One of the funnest races I've had in a while.
Well, Steve, I've got to ask you this. I've saved this question since you were the winner tonight, and everybody talking about these cars being a handful. Next week, the series heads to Atlanta. That racetrack in itself, cars on that racetrack, no matter what they are a handful. Tell us what you think these old 87 machines are going to do next week when they roll off under that old surface at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
I'm not sure. I've only ever driven this car once on a 1.5 miles, and that was Texas. So we'll have to do a little bit of practice in. But Atlanta's probably my favorite 1.5 mile track, and I love the tire fall off there. So I'm sure it'll be slick again, and looking forward to it.
Well, man, it's going to be a challenging week next week, but you're going into Atlanta with a little bit of momentum. Congratulations, Steve Baker, our winner here tonight from Daytona. Good job, man.
Thanks, Cody.
All right, there we go. Our top 3 finishers here from Daytona International Speedway in the season opener for the RFC Throwback Series. And man, oh man, what an evening it was. If you joined us throughout the evening, You saw some exciting racing from start to finish, and I hope you stick around because we have got a lot more of that racing to go in the 2020 season. As we spoke there just a few minutes ago with Steve, next week the series will head to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Well, the only thing left really to wrap things up is to talk about our finale, our results. So what do you say we talk about that as we get ready to wrap things up here from Daytona? Race results. Looks like the monitor's not one to work with me. It's Steve Baker going home in victory lane in the number 55 machine. Ryan Nolan rounds out the top two in his number 87 car. Did the masterful job of going upside down and still finding a way to pick up the win this evening. It was Jeffrey Clifton coming home in third in the 15. Cade Green made a rally towards the top three there towards the end, came up short in his number 19. Troy Radford, man oh man, he rallied late in this event to find himself finishing in the top five. Brian Snare, a quiet but good night for him in that 43 machine. He's going to be finishing sixth. Doug Wasaki, he comes home seventh in the number 34 machine. Justin Walters in the 49, he found himself eighth place. Andy Lambert in the 72 ninth, and Rick Hammond Jr. in the number 78, rounding out the top 10. Finishing 11th, it was Damon Cox in the number 57 machine. Thought he had kind of a rally there towards the end, but didn't quite get it to pan out the way he wanted. He finishes 11th. 12th is the 47 of Ray Radford. Dustin Ping in his number 9 finishes 13th. Chris Mefford in the 46 finishes 14th. Chris Stump, who set on the pole for the evening, rounding out the top 15. 16th was Eric Blunt, followed by 17th David Worrells. 18th was Dustin German. 19th rather, in the number 80 was Brian Littleton. Brian Mescal Jr. rounded out the top 20 as he found himself finishing in that 20th spot. Rounding out the top 21, it was the 48 of Joshua Spalding. Stephen Page rounded out 22nd. 23rd, Chris Legou in the 71. The 151 of Rick Greenaway is 24th, and rounding out the field in the number 4 was Mike Mason-Gill. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast here from Daytona, the RFC Throwback Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing, and of course our friends at the Blackhawk Motorsports. For myself, Cody Early, for the folks in the Turn 3 Racing Network and in the booth, we appreciate you spending time with us on this Tuesday night. The series heads to Atlanta next week, and we will be right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network to cover you the rest of the way. We hope you have a great evening. Stick around. More great racing here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. For myself, Cody Early, and all the folks in the Turn 3 Racing Network trailer, you all have a great rest of your Tuesday nights.